I'm Nick Cester from Jet, and may the rock be with you.
Thank you for your time, man. Thank you for chatting with May the Rock be with you.
No worries.
That was it all. Now, we are here, of course, because you're out playing shows again, which is awesome as Jet. With the
Mhm.
run at the end of last year and now extended dates, how did these initial
Mhm.
shows go? Were they great being back together doing those?
They were, I think we were all pleasantly surprised by the reaction, obviously, and the speed. Tickets, everything was really positive, and we had a great time. We don't think any of us really were expecting to find ourselves. Well, first of all, being a band again, not that long ago. And then very quickly to be there celebrating the anniversary of that album and to be
Mm,
doing this tour, it was great. I think we needed it. I think it was really healthy for the band and also for the fans, I guess. I mean, must have been because it was so, you could see the vibe was, you could tell it was a really positive vibe. So we
that's great. And
appreciated it.
for those that didn't make those shows, you've extended the run and you're going out in May and June, I believe. Tell us what people can
Yeah.
expect and how these shows work.
Well, we kick it off with a few high energy songs. Like, I mean, we play pretty much everything. All of the songs you expect to hear, we play them. But at a certain point, we play all of Get Born from beginning to end. Yeah, so we play a few songs before it, the whole album, and then we end with some other hits from different albums. But it's cool, it's fun. I'm just we're all just grateful that when we did the track listing of Get Born, it was intelligently done because it allows us to now play that whole album from start to finish without too much drama.
That's great. I love that. Hey, was there any trepidation or concern about doing this again?
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why the band stopped, and that's always sort of, those reasons are always sort of lurking there beneath the surface. So, and we have gotten back together in the past, and had some successful shows and runs, but I think something shifted now. I don't know what necessarily it is, but I think there's a new sort of attitude between us. There's a lot of reconciliation that's gone on. There's been a lot of songwriting also together, which has been, I think, therapeutic for some of us. I think all the kind of what needed to happen to clear the air and reconcile some of the past has happened, and at again, always with Jet, these things seem to happen in the right moments, and this coincided with the anniversary and so we've got the anniversary, we've got all of this happening, which then allowed new music to be written, which we're starting to slowly release in the next few months, which is also exciting. So I don't know, it just kind of feels like after it's reminiscent of how things began. Like there's a naivety back and an earnestness and a hunger and just all of the bullshit sort of gone, and it's back to what it should have been, for many years.
That's awesome to hear. We'll get to the new music shortly because I wanted to ask about that. But let's talk about Get Born. 20 years. Where'd that go? It's crazy to think that
Yeah.
it's. Well, let's look back though. What do you remember most about releasing your debut album?
Um, I remember it's just being a series of firsts, first
Yeah.
time overseas, first time playing with your heroes, first time in a studio in LA, first time with, all of it, staying in hotels in LA, playing in, recording in these historic studios in the afternoon, going out and having wild parties in between. It was just, it was a lot of just pure fun and excitement, enthusiasm, and we really felt like we had this positive momentum behind us, and we didn't know where it was going to go, but we knew it was going to be kind of big. How big we didn't know, but we felt this. We had an awareness of this momentum behind it, which was
Mm,
really exciting.
that's great. I remember the first time I heard "Are You Gonna Be My Girl?" and like everyone was like, "What the hell is that?" It was just new, it was fresh, but it was old at the same time, and it was just a
Yeah.
bit of everything. What was going through your head when things just immediately changed after that came out?
I guess, just a point to hit on that, because I spoke about this earlier with someone else, and I think it's one of the important factors to do with the success of that band is that we managed to sort of blend dress up nostalgic things in a fresh way, you know,
Mm, mm.
which pissed a lot of people off, but also was the thing that made it connect with a lot of people too. And it was great to see that sort of cross generational appreciation as well. You know, like seeing parents come into shows with their kids, which you don't see that often. You know,
Yeah,
there's not many instances where you get that, but that happened continuously and still does with this particular band and these songs. So that's something we've always been appreciative of. But what was going on in our heads when that all started to happen? I think we were just, you know, we were in the eye of the storm, so we had no kind of awareness of a lot of and we had no prior experience too. We had no anchor. We were just sort of caught up in this hurricane and going with it.
that's unreal. I think that's so cool. Now, you talked about new music, and I'm excited to hear about that. But I want to ask about your songwriting, because how, if in any way, has your approach to songwriting changed over time?
I think just by necessity now. Like, I mean, with Jet, we it was very hands on, and you know, it's always connected to the technology at the time.
Mm.
So with Jet, it was very hands on. It was born in a literally in a garage, and we'd stand around with instruments in our hands and go, you know, try and squeeze some songs out. And that with Jet, the great thing was everyone sort of brought something to the table. You know, like Chris, there's not just, you know, everyone in that band is a songwriter. So people would come sometimes with a whole song completely finished, sometimes with a piece, a chorus, a verse, a riff, a lyrical idea. And then we'd all kind of elaborate and build on it, which was fun, you know, having a team to workshop things is good. Um, but I mean, compared to now, I was forced to learn how to do it. I mean, I think it's probably fair to say, perhaps more so than the other guys, I did tend to bring completed ideas more often than the others. But I nowadays I had to do that continuously, and I had to learn how to play all the instruments too, because you know, all of a sudden it's just me in a room with another guy, and which is fun because it opened up a whole other way to do it. It was challenging in the beginning, of course, and it took a long time to get good enough to be able to do that. But flipping around from instrument to instrument is great. And also now coming back to Jet, I'm bringing with me this new understanding of where everyone else is coming from, which I think can be useful too. And, you
That's
know,
awesome.
maybe a little bit more sympathetic.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's what a bass player does. Right. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. So when do you think we'll start to hear something?
I mean, we started playing. Excuse me, I've been sick the last few days. We started playing a new song already on the last tour, which will release in a few months.
Mhm.
And then we have an album that's 98% finished, which we hopefully will put out towards the end of the year.
Excellent. That's great to hear. So I want to look back over your career because we can easily say what can change over time. What's the one
Mm.
thing that's always remained the same about Jet?
Um, my mind's going to some negative places immediately. A bunch of dickheads. Um, um, I think uh, one thing that's never changed, I guess. Well, I don't know what that is, but our manager mentioned this the other day, and maybe this is a good way to answer it because we presented him some new material that he hadn't. He, you know, he's the first to hear most stuff, you know, and he was like, "My God, it just sounds like Jet," you know, and I don't know what that is. Um, you know, it's because it's I think it's easier for someone who's to be objective. It's hard for us to be objective, but something happens. There's an alchemy, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Because I he's been my manager for 15 years,
Right.
and I show him my solo stuff, and his reaction is when it's Jet, he goes, "Man, it just sounds like Jet." Something happens when it could be the same song. In fact, some of these songs I showed him already were solo songs that became Jet songs, and
Mm.
but when these guys play it, it sounds like Jet. You know, it's just the alchemy that happens when it's the four of us in a room together.
That's so cool. I can't wait to hear this. Now that you're back, we're going to say you're back because you are. Is there anything on your
Mhm.
list of things that you'd love to do as a band you haven't yet had the chance to do?
Sing in another language, which actually I crossed that off the list on this song that's going to come out. Has a song because I've just been living in Italy for 15 years. So there's going to be a song of me singing a little bit in Italian,
Cool.
which is just like a B-side. So that was been one for a while. Other than that, I think I'm just really looking forward to um, getting back, having access to um, um, the machinery of Jet, a band of that size, and all
Yep.
of the things that come with it, like getting back on playing in a touring circuit and playing, cool festivals and being back doing that kind of stuff will be really fun again. I think after the last 10 years, which has been equally fulfilling, but for different reasons, and reconnecting with things in a different way, like the intimacy of it and the purity of it, and doing things not in the pursuit of anything other than just the love of music, which is kind of where I've been. Um, so this will be nice to connect to more people again and play, you know, bigger tours and bigger festivals and all that stuff. I think is going to be obviously fun.
Excellent. Looking forward to that indeed. Now let's talk about legacy, because last year you were inducted into the ARIA Hall of Fame. So what was the feeling like being recognized that way?
I think anytime you recognize, it's flattering and it's a nice feeling, I mean, and that's how I feel about it, like anytime. I mean, certainly it's not, and I think there's been moments where we lost. This is what I was trying to say, connects to what I was saying before. There's moments when you kind of can get caught up in your own machinery, and your North Point gets a little confused, and you might be chasing things for the wrong reasons all of a sudden without planning to or meaning to. You just kind of end up that way because there's always so much pressure behind you from management and labels and all of this stuff who have different um, in the pursuit of something. They're in the pursuit of a kind of success that isn't necessarily your kind of success. You know what I mean? And I think anyway, to connect the dots. So we're not in the pursuit of awards and accolades, but certainly when it happens, they're appreciated.
Yeah, I can dig that. That's a great answer. So let's just continue a little bit of legacy speak, because I like asking this now to people. If there was to be a biopic made about Jet, what would you want it to be called?
Huh. Uh, I don't know. I'd obviously I prefer that it focus mainly on me. So the
Nick.
yeah, and
Got
I and
born. How
I
about that? Let's go
sincerely
with
hope
got born.
I sincerely hope the other three guys um, hear this and are aware that I have every intention of peddling my my own story.
It's brilliant. We'll just leave it at that. I think it's brilliant. So I always like asking the song, especially from songwriters, called I Wish I Wrote
Yeah.
It. Is there one song in the world that you wish you wrote? And what would that be and why?
Oh man, I listen to so much music all the time,
Mm,
and so many different genres. I mean, I lately, I guess, I've been listening to a lot of like Chopin, and I wish that I had the musical acumen to be able to even play that, let alone write it.
yeah.
You know, so I think if I'm going to dream, I'd rather dream big and go for a completely different genre, which is, somewhere in the operatic or classical world. I think I would aim for that.
Well, there's the answer I never expected from you, but I love that. That's awesome. It's so good. Now, lastly, what I do with everyone, we get to look ahead to the future a little bit. So I want you to finish this sentence for me with a prediction. By the end of 2024, Jet will.
Will have released its fourth album.
Cool.
Yeah,
Can't wait for that. So it sounds like it's definitely happening, which is great.
yeah. I mean, I mean, you never know with this fucking crew, but well, I'm hanging on. I'm hanging on, man. Let's see what
Oh,
happens.
it's brilliant. Nick, thank you so much for your time, man. That was great to talk
No
to
worries,
you.
pal.
Hopefully, I'll catch up with you in Sydney and we'll look
Yep,
forward to the
nice
new
one.
stuff.
Beauty. Cheers, pal. Have a great
Thanks,
day.
mate. Bye.